My next guest, I enjoy talking to him every week. Font of all knowledge is Dr. Vincent.
Doctor, my eyes, tell me what is wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long?
And Vincent, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Richard. How are you this weekend?
I'm good. I'm very good for 12:37 on a Saturday afternoon, and all the better for talking to you.
Thank you.
That's right. We're both smooth talkers on there. You want to talk about habits today, don't you?
That's correct, because you have me on a week in and week out, and one of the questions that I got the most from the Instagram followers is that how can we build good habits? Because we're talking about good diet, we're talking about working out, exercising, increasing your steps every day, drinking water, maintaining good posture, standing up, and all of these good things. And a lot of our listeners and my Instagram followers were asking me how can we ensure, or how can we make it as easy as possible for our body and our mind to stick to good habits? And I think that this is one thing that probably a lot of people are struggling with, because it requires discipline and it requires a little bit of a sacrifice and a concerted effort. And we're all busy. So I thought that maybe this week we're going to talk about 3 simple tips and advice that I can share with you all in terms of how to stick to good habits and eliminate bad habits.
I was just going to say that because, as everybody knows now, I'm at the gym probably 5-6 times a week now, and it did take, I think it was probably 2 to 3 weeks to get into that habit.
Yeah, and you have to you have to allow yourself that time to get used to new habits. I mean, it's really easy. It's really easy to develop bad habits, or to get stuck into not so healthy lifestyle, because it is much easier to open up your apps and then order something from Uber Eats, compared to going to the supermarket or farmer's market and choose the fresh produce and create good, hearty, healthy meals for you and your family. However, I do think that it is worthwhile, because it's not really the sacrifice of time and effort that you are doing when you adopt healthier lifestyle. You're actually investing in your health presently as well as in the future. Because a lot of people, especially younger generations, they think that I'd rather go out, I'd rather buy something or take away or order something from Uber Eats, and I'm feeling great, I'm feeling healthy. And that's good. That's good that you're feeling great and healthy and energized. But we have to realize that all of these habits that you're doing in your 20s or in your 30s will eventually catch up with you as you grow older.
Yeah.
Because our body, as we grow older, our body is becoming less and less efficient in terms of processing stuff, and it becomes less and less resilient when it comes to warding off all the illnesses and diseases, as well as infection, as well as inflammation. So I really do think that it is not a waste of time or sacrifice of your time and effort and sometimes money. It is more about investing in your health, especially in the future.
It is. And so I'll just go back to, my gym experience. The trainers down there at, Fitness Habitat, let's put that straight out there. They're all about, they actually lined me up and went, you've got to be here for 12 weeks. And we as trainers have got to do everything to make it an experience for you, that even though it's hard and it's punishing what I'm doing, it's, you're going to go away today, but you're going to want to come back for the next one.
Yeah, and I think it is really important to set a goal, but you have to make it achievable. Obviously, we all love to be muscly and lean by next week before Valentine's Day,
yeah.
But we have to start our habit that is easy. something that you, in terms of your goals, you have to set something that it's so easy that you can't say no to.
Yeah.
Because the most important part of building a new habit, especially a good one, is staying consistent. So what I'm sharing with you all is that it doesn't have to matter how you perform on any individual day. The sustained effort is what makes the real difference. So say, for example, if you want to build an exercise habit, how about just set your goal to be like a minute a day, 5 minutes a day, something that is so ridiculously easy that you will feel bad saying no to. So
because you want to go along. You know what? That wasn't too bad. I'll do it tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you, for example, starting off your gymming experience, you don't need to join a CrossFit gym.
No.
In the first go. How about just start it? The intensity and the performance level can be managed later, because if you can prove to yourself that you can stick to something small for 30 days, once you're on a roll and remain consistent, you can worry about increasing the difficulty, because in the beginning of building healthy habits, performance is irrelevant. Doing something impressive once or twice is actually worse than you actually sticking with it in the smaller intensity, but in the higher consistency rate.
It's and you know that applies to everything. It applies to food, to exercise. You know, but you've still got to find somewhere to say, like, I didn't hate it. I can come back and do it tomorrow.
Yes, and even it applies to life goals. For example, a lot of people. People probably know I'm from the millennial generation, and a lot of people are not very happy with my generation in terms of we're talking about our dreams and everything, which is good. However, dreamers need to be a doer in order to achieve their dreams. So a lot of people say that, I want to be a writer. Right. I want to do something. I want to be an entrepreneur. Go and do it, because at the end of the day, doing it is what is making you getting closer to your dream. So apply these sort of kind of small bites or smaller steps in terms of going towards your dreams, rather than dreaming too big. And at the end of the day, you think that, it's too hard. I'll just chuck it in the too hard basket, and you never actually end up doing it.
One of the best books, if you ever wanted to start writing, there's a book called Stephen King on writing that he wrote, the great author, and he is of the opinion that if you want to be a writer, you have to write every day. Yes,
exactly. You have to write every day, and it doesn't really matter. I think one of the most enjoyable moments in my life as a scientist was actually writing the thesis. I know a lot of people and academics really hate that part. I really love it because it's very cathartic in terms of putting a little bit of yourself onto something that is tangible, and I love it. And I always say that I want to be a writer, and I read exactly the same quote from about writing, that if you want to be a writer, you have to write every day.
It's you got to write every day. You know, if you've got a website out there, people, and we get people who, you know, have got websites and they put a post up every day. And for people out there, you know, if you do have a website and it's a business, fresh new content every week is how you get Google ranking. Don't worry about all the crap SEO advice from people who go along and email you. It is fresh content every week. And people go, it's hard every week. Well, it's hard to run a business, but if you do it every week, your ranking will go up.
That is correct. And if you're thinking that it's hard to do, maybe, and it's a good segue to step number 2, take some time to understand exactly what's holding you back. So people who stick with good habits understand exactly what is holding them back. So you might think that you're not the person who would stick to writing every day. Maybe you are too unorganized. Maybe you don't have time. Or when it comes to healthy diet or healthy lifestyle, probably you blame yourself as, I have sweet tooth. I give into cravings and eat sweets all the time. But in most cases, you're actually not destined to fail in those areas.
No.
So instead of making a blanket statement and basically accuse yourself of being a failure, maybe take a step back and break this quote-unquote problem into smaller pieces. Say, for example, that when you say that you don't have time to go to the gym, perhaps you would benefit from doing exercise at home. When you say that you don't have time to ride, perhaps you're spending too much time on Instagram, or perhaps when you're saying that you're always giving into cravings and you're snacking all day long, perhaps that's because your main meals are not nutritious enough for your body to get all of the nutrients from. So figuring out how to work around one or two of these hurdles actually help you to stick to your habits. You might not be able to fix everything, and I bet you won't be able to fix everything instantaneously because, again, everyone wants to be fit by the 14th of February. However, we have to be realistic. It's better to build a good habit and reap the benefits in the future rather than saying one day. So
Yeah, I mean, you know, for the habit, it took me probably 2 weeks to get into the habit of getting up at 5:30 a.m. to get to the gym. And, you know, you go along and you go, geez, I'd love to stay in bed right now. And to go, no, made a commitment, I'm going.
Yes. And if you do fail, which is step 3 of my 3 steps of developing a good habit, is that develop a plan when you fail, because we're only human. Sometimes the bed is much more welcoming than waking up in the morning and splash cold water on your face and having to go and do burpees. So sometimes, I loathe
burpees. I just can't stand, you know, it's one exercise down there I can't stand.
Yeah, whoever invented burpees, I really do think that they have been traumatized and wronged by someone in their life. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. But failure is a part of growing. You share a lot, Richard, about business, about building business, about starting your own business, and about growing your business. And similarly, in life and in health, failure is also part of growing because we're only human, and sometimes we have to give in or we have to compromise. But what's important is that when you're building a habit and you fail, I think it's very important that we learn not to judge ourselves too much or feeling guilty when we make a mistake. I mean, we are really, really good at being kind to people. I really do think that, especially after COVID, people learn that kindness is the way to go. But I would challenge us today who's listening that maybe apply that same of kindness onto ourselves, because sometimes we can be really mean to ourselves and we don't need to be.
Yeah, we can. We can be very mean to ourselves sometimes.
So instead of loathing failure, maybe instead of setting a deadline, we set a schedule. So even that word schedule versus deadline is much kinder to our brain. Maybe we forget about the performance. So people always say that it's not the destination, it's the journey. And what I find really, really useful, and you probably, without knowing this, or maybe with knowing this, you also apply it to yourself, is that never miss twice.
Yeah.
So when I'm craving KFC today, I probably give into that craving, but the next day I won't get my Happy Meal. Maybe I will eat some salad. So you don't miss twice, because slipping up on your habits doesn't make you a failure. It makes you normal. It means that you're normal.
Yes.
It's the consistent slipping up that makes you that has a really bad impact on your building of good habits.
Yeah, tomorrow's my treat day, so it's McDonald's for lunch. So yes.
Yes, and develop a treat or a cheating day that doesn't really have a huge negative impact to your life or your social life. For example, I keep my biggest calorie allowance for dinner, because people are busy during lunch during the day. So when you have lunch by yourself, you're not actually sacrificing your social life. But majority of my social life interaction with my loved ones, family, and friends centers around dinner table. So I allow myself a little bit more leeway during dinner so that I don't have to compromise my social life, because as important as our physical health is, our mental and emotional health is also important. And social life is a big part of being healthy emotionally and mentally.
Spot on. Good place to finish. Vincent, where can we find out more about you?
At appleaday.com.au, we are a company that promotes healthy lifestyle and also promotes Australian apple farmers and apple industry. All of our products are made of 100% Australian apples. Go to appleaday.com.au, find out more about us, and you can also support us by visiting Woolworths and Coles and get our products from their vitamins and skincare aisle.
Vincent, can we talk to you next week?
Thank you so much. I will make sure that I will be available next week, because it is literally one thing that makes me wake up in the morning on Saturday and be happy, because I know that I'll be on with you, Richard.
Oh, Vincent, you're a smooth talker. I'll send you.
I learn from the best.
I'll put the check in the mail for you. Vincent, have a good rest of the weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.